Hello everyone, welcome again to our vlog. I guess it's been many months since I uploaded a video about this content. I'm so sorry about that. For those who are waiting for English 7, 9 and 10, I will be focusing now on English 8 because this will be my load for this school year. And sana po maintindihan nyo yung part na yun. And I do hope that you will learn and still subscribe to my content and to my channel about this one. Hello Aces! Namiss ko kayong lahat. It's been a good day to all of us. I do hope you are safe now. And without further ado, let's have our lesson. As just like the usual, in your regular sessions in the Google Meet or Zoom or any online platform, you need to have this netiquette. Alam ko naman na alam na ninyo yung mga ganitong rules. And of course, prayer. You should always pray prior to anything that you do in your online classes, even if it's not in the physical setup. Now, for today, let's talk about models. For grade 8, models will be a walkthrough only, but for grade 9, these models will be discussed in a more in-depth manner. You will need to funnel down everything for English 9. But luckily for English 8, my dear aces studying English 8, you will be just dealing with a walkthrough of these models. Now, let's have this simple game. Your model sounds familiar. Your teacher will be showing a certain model, certain word. Then she or he will be asking you about if you kept on using those models in your daily conversation, or you encounter them on your readings, or even use them on your writings or essays. Now, we have the first one: can, may, must, should, will, couldn't, ought to, and might. Now, your teacher will definitely ask you about if you use these following models in your conversation, or you encounter them in your daily lessons, or even use them in your writing compositions, articles, or even essays. Now, without further ado, I know you're just making this video lesson very informative, brief yet informative, because we'll be just dealing with the concepts, with the learning tidbits. Okay. Now, for the discussion part, in English grammar, a modal is a verb that combines with another verb to indicate mood or tense. It is commonly used to express your degree of certainty about an outcome or the possibility of something and the attitude of the speaker to the action. The most common modal verbs include must, shall, will, should, would, can, could, might, and may. These are the following examples of models that commonly used in our walkthrough in this particular lesson. And it is indicated on our part that it provides a mood or tense. That's correct. Because a model is usually a verb that combines with another verb to signify a mood or a tense or a degree of certainty about an outcome or the possibility. Sometimes it can be a permission or request or anything that might give you a hint on a particular statement. Now, to understand that more, let's have this additional discussion. We use modal verbs to express something that can probably, certainly, or possibly happen na mangyayari on that particular statement. You will be given gist, you will be given hint of what particularly or probably, certainly, possibly will happen on the statement. They also help when speaking about the ability, making requests, offers, asking permission, and more. Now, by using models, by combining models into your statement in the verb, you can actually identify if it is making a request or offer, asking permission, or even identifying an ability. Now, for that, let's continue with this one. What are the functions of models? Can. The function of can is to express ability or opportunity, to request or offer permission, and to show possibility or impossibility. For example, I can speak 3 languages fluently. Now, if you use the model can, it means you speak the language fluidly, you have that particular ability. For could, to express possibility or past ability, make any suggestions and polite requests, and use in conditional sentences showing the possibility in the past. It's like, for example, I could easily memorize a poem when I was younger. It provides possibility or showing possibility in the past or your past ability. When you use could, it denotes the tense of past tense. Now, it can also be used in forming a suggestions or requests politely. Usually, I use this one because it sounds more polite and courteous. Para mas magalang ka ng konti. Next, may, to express a possibility, it can also be used to give or request for a permission in formal cases like, may I borrow your book? We use may for a bit formal conversation, but when you use it in a daily dialogue, it was not really that useful or can always be used because it provides a permission in a more formal cases. But gusto mo maging formal, this will be may is for you. Now, might, we have also might for expressing a possibility. It is also used in conditional sentences. Also use might to make some suggestions or requests. It's like, for an example, I might be a few minutes late in our practice. It's express a possibility na pwede kang malate. I might be a few minutes late in our practice. It also make suggestions or requests. Just like, for an example, or you might give a particular suggestion in the climate change, or you can actually suggest something. It's just like suggestions or requests. Sometimes you can use this one depending on the target audience. If you want to be more formal, you can choose the other models and the other way around. Now for will, it's not Kuya Will that gives jacket. It's just will with promises and determinations that make plays in the future to make predictions about the future. My sister will visit Korea next year, or will visit a particular place like Japan next year. Now for this one, we usually use will combined with a verb in the future tense. Don't use ed or the past tense when you use will because it indicates a prediction or a future occurrence or happening. You predict, you provide a glimpse of the future. Next, would. It's silent L for would, serves as the past form of the modal verb will. It indicates past habits for which we also use simple past tense or used to. Now, when I was young, I would wake up early to play with my friends. As indicated in our presentation, would is the past tense of will. Therefore, you will be using past tense now. It indicates your past skill or a past form of the statement or the verb. Next, we have shall to indicate a future action, promises, or voluntary actions, future events that often express inevitability or predestination. Now, it can be also function just like the will, but now it functions more in inevitability or predestination. I shall meet you in the library at 9 a.m. It sometimes have the combination of a promise. Parang nagpa-promise ka or a voluntary action about that. Just make a combination of this one. It can be also I will meet you in the library at 9 a.m. That would be a future tense. But when you use I shall meet you in the library at the 9 a.m., you have this some kind of a touch of a promise or a future event. Next one would be must, to express certainty, necessity, or strong recommendation. You must listen to your parents. It means talagang masidhi na siya. You need to do that when you use must. You must study your module so that teachers will pass you. Or you might fail. Parang ganun lang. Next is ought to advise or make recommendations, to express moral obligation or to advise against doing something. You ought to follow the school rules and regulations, just like a moral obligation. Kailangan mong gawin to. It's similar to the first